Good day, everybody, and welcome to the 8th episode of Inside SWTOR, the show where gamers gab about what's new, cool, hot, and sometimes off topic in the universe of Star Wars The Old Republic. I am Sandy Syndramisha Smith, and you hear me gab a lot, and I'm going to turn it over to my fellow panelists to introduce themselves.
I'm really a robot in disguise, and I have a cowboy hat.
That's all. You're not gonna say your real name.
No, it's gonna flash on the screen. And if you've been watching by now, you should know I'm just that honky retard.
Hello, everybody. I am Arsenal Fraser, also known as Fastcard or FC. And the answer to last week's question is Gamora. That's the name of the turtle, not Gamora. My fault.
Gamora. Okay, after that. Our first topic this week, unsurprisingly, is the announcement of Makeb, the new content that will be coming up sometime after 1.3. What are y'all's thoughts?
Well, the 7 seconds I got to see in the special little video that they put out, I think Makeb looks really good. I like the raised pedestals and the falling buildings and the invisible ship and the big robot, the bounty hunter. That was kind of neat.
Yeah, exactly. For like the minute-long or whatever video. I thought it was interesting. It's a new planet. It's a Bioware-specific planet. It's not in the lore, as far as we know yet. And as far as else with that video, I was interested in how people look like they're from Tron for some reason, or whatever reason. I wonder what that's all about.
What, the raid?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was the operation, excuse me. I'm pretty sure that was the operation, and I'm perfectly fine with that, because there's nothing cooler than neon lights and flashing floors and whatnot. I mean, unless you have epilepsy, in which case, not so much.
Yeah, but were they trying to rip off Tron, or that just something they thought was neat and cool? They thought, oh, this looks nothing at all like Tron.
Oh, it doesn't matter what you do nowadays. You're gonna end up having some sort of I can't even think of the word. I wouldn't say rip off. I would say more along the lines of you're gonna find similarities. That's what I'm looking for. You're gonna find similarities in everything nowadays. There's so many different things out there. You're not gonna a completely original thought or concept is going to be very few and far between. I'm just, Hut Cartel. Woo!
I thought it looked pretty cool. I'm curious to see what the level cap will be. I've heard some speculation. I'm hoping the speculation isn't correct. I like that HK will be in there. I always got a kick out of HK meatbag. And I thought the operation looked cool. I'm kind of curious to see how they're going to handle it, what the price point will be, and how often they plan on releasing this kind of content. If it's intended to be a full expansion, frankly, it'll be a little underwhelming. But if it's just going to be like a periodic, here's a little more content than we usually give you, here's a level cap, here's some more story, and it's something they're going to do like for $10 or $15 or something like that, every few months, that'd be cool.
Well, I think it kind of boils down to do you want to wait a year for a big chunk of content, or let's say 3, 4, 6 months? Just throwing a number out there for a little bit of content and a little bit of content, and a little while longer, a little bit of content, because with the way gamers are nowadays, you're burning out really quick on stuff. You're flying through it, and you do it a couple of times, you go, well, that's shiny, I'm going over there. So I don't know. I think I'd rather have small chunks of content at a reasonable pace rather than a large chunk to digest at the same time. Yeah, every year and a half or whatever. That's just me.
I'm the same way, especially because in some of the games where we've seen larger content releases further apart, the content starts to get old. Like you said, people start to burn out, and there are people who burn out like after a month. There are some that stick around longer, of course, and are entertained for longer. It depends on what people like to do in the game. But then when all of this new content comes out, it can be overwhelming. It's like, well, I've got to do this and I've got to do that and I've got to do this and I've got to do that. And, by the time you actually get to catch your breath, then things are obsolete or irrelevant. You're just tired of playing it or what have you. So I think smaller amounts of content more often is really a good idea. And I think that's a better way to keep people engaged in the game on a consistent basis.
And hopefully it keeps the population levels at a smooth level or a nominal level or whatever word you want to throw in there. It's not so much, okay, new content, subs, and then everybody burns through content. Now we've only got 45 or 60% of the total number that we had 3 months ago because everybody's burned through it and they go, all right, I'm going back over here for a little while till you come out with something new. I mean, it's just a life cycle, really.
Yeah, I'm also in the small content every so often, rather than more like large content and more rarely. I am worried about the price point, like me specifically, from what I've seen in the videos and what they've announced so far. I would want to pay no more than $5 for it. I would pay $10 if I had to, but yeah, I think it looks so far to be like $5 value for me. And as far as the server population stuff like that, I mean, I keep saying it before. We need server mergers, and maybe the character transfer that's coming up will help with that. But so I mean, when the character transfer happens, that means other servers will decrease in population while the more stable ones increase. But what happens to the ones that have less population after the transfer?
Right. I've been wondering that myself. Is what's going to happen to the people that get left behind when everybody jumps? You get a low population server, and 85% of the people jump off of that server onto other ones. You still have 15% of whoever's left hanging out. Like, what what if it's somebody who doesn't log on in time, or is on a work trip or on vacation or whatever the reason might be, just doesn't bother subbing, and then all of a sudden they hear about it, a week or two or three or whatever, and they go, oh, crap, and they log on. Well, now you're stuck on that planet with, the other 35 people. How are you supposed to handle it? They're gonna do, I don't want to say forced mergers. I definitely don't want to say forced transfers. I don't know why I use the term mergers. But what are you going to do with the people that get left behind? The people that choose not to?
I think eventually they will just do mergers, but until then, I think it'll be just a cycle until there's like almost no one left, or only like the hardcore people left who just want to be there for the community or for the guild and stuff like that.
What, the 10 or 12 people, just a random number that hang out on the entire server that everybody's jumped off of? I mean, yeah, I'm sure. There's 20 people. Hey, we got all our server first. Yes, because there's nobody there. It makes you the winner by default, basically. Bringing a bicycle to a foot race.
Yeah, they've said that the transfers are going to be optional. And I didn't really get a good sense of how long the transfer period will be. And I'm sure part of that depends on, or is determined by, if I could pick the right word,
detrimental.
Ridicule. Anyway, it's a
red testicle.
Will be determined by how quickly the destination server fills up. So, the transfer may be open for 2 weeks and it may be open for 2 days. It just kind of depends on how many origin servers they have per destination server and how many people choose to move. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out, that's for sure. I get the impression that after they have the full round of character transfers, that at that point there will be an option for paid character transfers. And so if those 15 people get left behind on the server, they may at that point decide to pay for character transfers.
With credits?
No, I don't think so.
Aha! Coupons! I don't know.
Oh, you mentioned the level cap before. I'm hoping it'll be like 55 or 60, but that's just my speculation. I guess everyone is expecting 55. I'm supposing.
I would guess 55. would be probably just about the right number. But then again, let's take some of the other games and some of the ways that they do it and the way BioWare's been doing their stuff. Over here we got a group of 5. Over here we got a group of 4. Over here we got a group of 10 for an op. Now, you only need 8 in our game, so if you say 55, they might go 53 or 52. They might even go 51 for all we know. They might go 57. They might go 60, but I doubt they're going to go 60 because that seems like an awful lot for such a small section. That'd be more like an expansion thing, but that kind of plays into the whole little bit at a time. Let's drag it out, kind of like, I don't know, War and Peace.
Yeah, someone brought up on our guild forum, I think it was if it's only like a low level, then doing hard mode de novo or story mode de novo is going to be too easy. It won't be much of a challenge anymore, much like SWTOR and Karaga is for people who have level Ricotta gear or some black hole gear now.
Well, you
Right.
could say the same thing. Sorry. You could say the same thing if they go 55 or 60 or anything in there. You go 2 levels, it's too easy. You can say the
Well,
same thing right now.
I mean, they're releasing the new ops, so they'll have new in-game content that should be more level appropriate. And if you think about the number of levels per planet, I would be really surprised. I mean, I would love to see 55, but I would be really surprised if it's that high, since there's just going to be one world. Um, and that's about all I can say about that.
I'm guessing 53 max. 3 levels is probably going to do it, and that's probably pushing it. But I would say probably 53.
I don't know, when you consider all the dailies and like you got Corellia Black Hole, you got Ilum, you got Los Sabres, you can get like a level out of that pretty easily, and then you can add 2 levels on 2 or 3 levels on McCab. So 54 doesn't seem that too much for one planet, in my opinion.
That's assuming they put dailies on that planet.
No, I mean like just without dailies on McCab on the new planet. They have Ilum, the Sabres, and Black Hole still. That's they get to at least 51 right there, maybe 52. I don't know.
I'm gonna stick with 53. Because when you add them together, you get 8. And if you divide by 6, you get a number with decimal points in it. And I'm not going to do that in my head.
So just because the math is easier, you're gonna stick with it, huh?
Yeah, pretty much.
All right.
I want more character slots. I
Me
want more
too.
slots. I got a friggin' legacy tree. I got legacy perks. I got unlockables. I haven't bought a single one. Honestly, still to this day, have not bought a single one because they don't appeal to me.
Hmm.
Give me more.
Yeah, I haven't bought any of it either. The ones on 1.3 sound cool. I would like more character slots just because I ended up going ahead and getting a second account so that I could have one of each of the advanced classes, only to find out that as part of the legacy, you want to have Empire characters to round out, some of the perks. And it's like, I like the idea of not having my Empire characters and my Republic characters have the same legacy name because that doesn't make sense to me. But at the same time, I would like it to count that I have Empire characters and Republic characters, and like to the benefits that they have of, being able to force lightning and whatever.
So you're saying because you have 2 accounts, you have to pick 2 different names and therefore have 2 different legacy trees with 2 different legacy levels. So you basically have to do it twice.
Exactly. And even that part I don't mind so much is the fact that I'm going to be missing out because I decided to go ahead and get that second account so that I could have one of each of the advanced classes. I'm going to be missing out on having the some of the benefits of legacy. I mean, I would like to have more character slots. I kind of like the idea that they're going to have 2 different legacy names. I don't like the idea that I'm going to have to, grind legacy on 2 different accounts. But I don't know. I'd I'd almost go for them having the same last name and just figuring out a way to work that out so that I could get the benefits and don't have to level 2 legacies. That would be nice.
I'm already well, not already, but I'm legacy 47 at the moment, and I cannot imagine doing that on true account. I Oh my god, I just can't. I mean, like I'm slowing down right now. Like I used to be able to get like a legacy every 2 or 3 days, but I haven't been able to put that much effort into it. You just get too much after a while. I don't know how you can do that on two account.
Well, I know I'm nowhere near 47.
I think I just hit 24 like last week. Like, I'm just gonna putz around. There's nothing past 25 anyways, right?
At least until 1.3, right?
I didn't see anything when I was perusing it earlier, I didn't see anything above level 25. I took
Okay.
quite a few screenshots, but I don't remember seeing anything above level 25. So I guess the rest are you're basically just getting set up.
Anything else about McKeb y'all want to talk about?
Yes,
Go ahead.
I think it should be called Macab.
They showed a video
Macab.
of a new space mission that looked interesting.
Death Star .5.
Basically,
Yay. I'm pretty sure that every Star Wars game I've ever played has a Death Star trench run or something like it in it. Let's not, break with tradition.
it wouldn't be Star Wars without a Death Star trench run, right?
Well, it's, we had the Star Forge. No, technically was not really a Death Star, but kind of. I don't know. It was, popping out ships.
That'd be interesting. If they could like make a return to Star Forge and make a new trench run.
You
That's
know what
something they could do in the future.
out of everything I've seen in the game so far, the one thing that I really am genuinely curious about is the Infinite Empire. That is something. Yes, that is something that I think there's tons of things you could do with that. I mean, what was it? Was it the first or the second? I think it was the first Knights of the Old Republic. I believe it was the first Knights of the Old Republic with the Sand People and the Lore Master, whatever he was called. Like I remember just like rereading that over and over and over. Like seriously, I want to know more. Anything.
Well, that'll be with the not the next expansion, but the next sequel of the game. That'll be like the old Republic.
The old Republic?
Yep.
Old Man Republic.
The tour.
The elderly republic.
The elderly Republic. You want your seniors discount?
I mean, they could either do that or make some kind of time traveling, which they don't do in Star Wars. But I don't see how. I mean, other than like there's a quest on Coruscant that deals with Infinite Empire just a little bit, but
With Croissant?
not Coruscant, Tatooine. I'm sorry, Tatooine.
Coruscant. Coruscant.
You just mispronouncing all the planets.
I'm not mispronouncing the planet. Coruscant, I believe, is the technical. If you want to get down to it.
Yes, but on Tatooine.
Outside with the white shorts. Tatooine.
That's
Tatooine.
the planet I was talking about.
Tatooine.
Yeah.
Tattooed.
Huth. I'm on the frost planet of Huth.
Hooch? What? Huh?
Huth. What? This ain't NASCAR. Get out of here. That's how it started back. Are you gonna throw it or you gonna think about it? I'm gonna throw it.
What do y'all think about the playable race, the Cathar?
I know you're happy about that.
Is there an option to declaw them? Do you have to do like flea bombs in the starship every so often?
You have to be sure you wear the flea collar. Yeah.
Check for worms.
Sin, you stole my lame joke. How could you do that? I was just about to say flea collar. Come on now, leaving my lame joke for you.
You know what? If you're gonna put Cathar in a game, please, for the love of all that is humorous, get us a bag of catnip somewhere I can buy. I want to see that happen. Oh, look, it's Star Wars bath salts.
And the cat will eat your face off.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So wrong, so wrong.
We already got rat ghouls. Let's do the full thing. Come on. There you go. Bring
No.
back the rat ghoul disease vendor and make sure you got catnip.
No, it'll be Cathar rat ghouls. That's what it'll be. Cathar zombies that eat
yep.
your face off.
There you go. Tatooine's a lot like Florida, isn't it? Sandy beaches. I just went there, didn't I?
We mentioned the space mission, which, although I think 3D space or multiplayer space or something like that would be awesome, I think as for a space mission, it looks cool. We'll see how the whole thing is, but it looks pretty cool. And I couldn't really get much of a sense of the PvP war zone. How about y'all?
No.
The 3 seconds in the video?
Yeah, pretty much.
According to you, the whole video is only 10 seconds, so.
No, I'm not saying the video is only 10 seconds. I'm just saying that you're eating up like 20 seconds at the beginning with the BioWare, Old Republic, and this year, and then, I'm not saying it's a bad video. It's very pretty. I'm just saying that a 45-second video and all those different things that, isn't really going to give you much information.
So what do y'all think about the
That's true.
play free until level 15 thing that they're doing?
Yeah, I'm wondering if that's going to be some kind of way to exploit it or somehow, like, people, you can probably get your starship at level 14, if possible, if you know what you're doing. So people who are already in the know can make a second account and make a bunch of alts for. You can have your ship droid and your one companion to do more crew skills and stuff like that to make even more money. So I don't know if they're gonna just allow that or how that's gonna work.
It might only be to new subscribers. I don't know. They do everything by you're getting into a totally gray area here that we could go different directions with.
Well, even for if new subscribers, you can make a new email account. I mean, pretty easy. You don't have to. And some people do have more than one credit card. You go with that also. So it's not. I mean, are they going to allow? Like people like multiple credit cards or stuff like that?
Or trade blocking?
I would have a feeling there would be some restrictions. Every game I know of that has a free trial, there are restrictions to what you can do, who you can talk to, whether or not you can group. And I'm pretty sure they said something about restricting it to new accounts only. Of course, like you said, that's kind of easy to spoof. So.
Right. Well, I guess you were more asking us about how we felt about it, like player base, weren't you? I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Instead, he went off on this friggin', Korean monkey bot thing, money
Oh,
credit
no.
scam. My Nigerian princess is waiting for me. Oh, I'm just gonna give her my bank account.
In another castle.
Yeah, she's in another castle. Beat him to death with a can of spam.
As far as I feel about it, I mean, I'm okay with it. I mean, it's not going to be something I'm going to take advantage of, or I don't really know anyone who would take advantage of it. I mean, I don't know how popular it's going to be, like, or how it works on other games.
One of the things I think about it is, especially, there's the Makeb video on the official site, but then some of the fan sites have the discussion leading up to the Makeb video from E3. And we all know that SWTOR has been an awesome game and done all sorts of awesome things. But there was just something about the way in the video that he recounted all of the, we had the biggest launch ever. We, provided all this new content. We've, done all this. And then they throw out Makeb and then they start having free trials. I don't know. It smells of desperation to me, personally. Maybe I'm just a cynical naysayer or something, but
It could just be really hot in your apartment, too. You know what? You should be thankful because I was gonna go with that's just your upper lip, but then I decided to go with something a little bit not as mean. I can't. No, I can't. I can't. Shh. Yeah, yeah. I can see that. That's a good look. Quick, take a shot of that. We're gonna add pants and a mustache to that.
Yeah,
So wrong.
the E3 presentation was disappointing. I don't know if it didn't feel desperate to me. It just felt lackluster. Like they put it together last minute, or they didn't put as much thought into it as they could have. It
The
was all
old,
about it was all about what we had done, and not more about what's coming. As far as I wanted to say about the 15 level thing. I don't think 15 levels is enough to get someone hooked into the game. To me, like you need at least 20 to get a little bit into the Act One, and not just a prelude to really get someone hooked into the story in the game. That's just my opinion, though.
well, I'm gonna have to go ahead and disagree with you on that one because when I first started playing, uh, way back in the beta, I just picked a random class, which ended up being a shadow, and started playing it. And I was almost instantly hooked off of the second or third area on Tython. I was like, holy crap, this is fun. And then after deleting a couple of characters and going through Tython like a good 15 times and Ord Mantell a good 10 or 12 times, not so much. But right off the bat, I was pretty much. I can't even think of a censored statement for it.
Yeah, I do agree. Does matter if someone who hasn't played Tor before, what class they pick and what faction they pick, and that's true. Because as much as we don't want to talk about it, some class stories are better than others. So that could be a big, huge part
I'll
of
talk
that.
about it.
That could be a big, huge part in deciding who stays and who doesn't stay.
Right,
Start
but
playing.
yeah, I it depends on how many characters are they going to be able to have on the one trial account. Are they going to be able to have 4 or 2 or 6 or all of the slots? So they're going to be able to. I mean, you're going to be able to pick your advanced class at least. You're going to get a feel for the first planet. You're going to feel for the game. You're going to get to pick your advanced class,
Do some
which
PvP.
right, you can do a little bit of PvP. You get to see the fleet in all its glorious hallways, and then you get your quote unquote capital faction capital planet or whatever, like Coruscant or Dromod Kos. And I must say, quite honestly, Dromod Kos is way better looking than Coruscant is. But I would rather play through Coruscant another 3 times than play through Dromod Kos one more time because I just couldn't stand the way the quests are. Tangent alert! I didn't like how the quests were set up on Dromod Kos.
Roman Cross was definitely more interesting, in my opinion, than Coruscant was. I could play Roman Cross way more for repetitive reason or like extra class or whatever. I can do that Roman Cross way more than I could do Coruscant. And I did Roman Cross in beta.
But yeah,
One of the issues with only going up to level 15 is that, at least in the Vanguard Trooper, I don't know if it's the same for other advanced classes, I didn't get my first tanking skill until level 14. And even then, I just had the one. So, you start off with all the classes not only so that you could go in either direction for the advanced class, but also so that you can kind of hold your own in the beginning. And you don't start to specialize until later. So not being able to get a feel for how your class is going to specialize it might be something of an issue. I know there were people who played healers who were like, oh, I don't like this, but they just never got very far into it, and they never really got a chance to see what the healer characters like to play.
I love the healing classes in this game. The only one that I'm not particularly fond of is the Sage, but that's just because I don't like the whole um, force focus over time regen thing with the noble sacrifice. But I'm getting off on a complete tangent here. But you're right. I absolutely didn't get a feel for my first class that I played through the game was a guardian. I didn't get a good feel for that until like I think 35 or 36. That's where it really started to come into its own, where I started to get all the higher tier abilities, and you get a couple of cool companions and whatnot. My Hugler, on the other hand, level 20, addicted right off the bat. Loved it. Took me a couple levels to get used to the way things worked with the whole regen thing, but it was fun.
So, like, I do agree with the first 15 levels that the characters are overpowered in some sort because you have a companion and yourself. Um, Regardless of your advanced class, at least for like the first 12 levels at least, you are overpowered. You can take out mobs pretty easily, regardless, even if you like wearing gear like 6 levels below your level. Um, so that part is pretty good. I would think I would wonder whether or not they would allow someone to re-choose their class to get so they can try both classes on both event classes on the same character. That might be interesting. Also, I do wonder whether or not people who hit the level 15 level cap, whether that they'll try to get to the next planet, regardless, even though they might be too low level, just to see how far they can get. That'll be interesting.
I doubt they'd let people swap advanced classes to see what they're like on the same character. From what I understand, isn't it if they choose to subscribe, they can just pick up the same character?
Correct.
And they would also have to put in a mechanism for switching advanced classes, and then people would want to know why they can't switch advanced classes. They're the ones paying for the game, and I don't see it happening.
Correct.
Hmm. One can hope. We'll see.
You were mentioning the fleet, a completely off-topic tangent because we never do that. Yeah, the air quality in the fleet has got to be awful with all the people zooming around on their speeders.
They're going to have to put in some sort of emissions tax or some sort of test or whatever. Which is fine with me as long as I can put neon lights underneath it. Maybe, I don't know, one of those chrome sexy lady hot pants things that you see on the back of the mud flaps of the big trucks on the highway. Meet me, Uh, I want more stuff in the collector's edition vendor, the VIP vendor. I'm just going to throw that out there. Dynamic my brown bunghole.
Oh, aren't you
Dynamic.
getting your speeder in my cab? The one, or is it going to be a different one?
What?
Yeah, I heard
Macab.
something about.
Macab? What about Macab?
A speeder? I'm not familiar.
Yeah, there was
I
one.
heard something about a screenshot about a wheelchair with. I'm not. No, no. Seriously, that's how it was described. It was a wheelchair with pod racer rockets from like. They almost look like Anakin's pod racer engines on the front, but they were on the back and they were up. And somebody said something about why does that look like a wheelchair with pod racer engines? Somebody said because everybody's got bad knees from the rank 1 speeders. Everybody's standing up on them. Give me one. Yeah, I heard a rumor about 110% speed STAPs in the collector's edition, which would be nice because those are the only ones I really like. I have the collector's edition one on Mac, and it's like a giant triangle. It looks like one of those Moonanites from Aqua Teen Hunger Force. I'm like, is it a second seat on the right hand side, or is it a trunk? Is it like a Ferrari? It's in the front. The big rockets in the back. I don't know.
I heard that there was going to be a speeder that was going to be from. I'm probably going to be hung. It was one of the original movies, but I don't remember which one. And I also heard something about a two-seater speeder. So yeah, I was thinking you were going to get your speeder that you've wanted, Mac. I thought.
Oh, are you talking about the brown custom classic boosted speeder bike, or classic custom boosted speeder bike, or custom classic speeder bike, or catapult? But yeah.
I haven't said it yet.
Yeah, I
Just
know.
go.
I'm gonna pull it out of you, just like in that Force Unleashed game. I moved the ship. I moved the ship. Hate that level. I want my speeder bike. Those are the only cool ones I've seen so far. Is the ones from Return of the Jedi. Those are the only ones I like.
Oh,
The only
we
ones.
have to get in ready check for 1.3 somehow. I don't know. You gotta suggest the hell out of
Yeah,
that.
it's called a push to talk button. Are you guys ready to go? Say something in chat. Fixed.
Yeah, but the people never actually answer me when
That's
I
because they're
ask.
scared. Admit it.
So.
And not everyone has a microphone.
Please insert your minutes. What are you wearing?
You don't want to know that. So what do y'all think about fighting huts?
Fighting huts?
Fighting huts?
I think if Leia can do it single-handedly, how are you gonna make a raid boss out of him?
Well, it was
Woo!
Leia after all.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm kind of going way off context here.
Well, we've already had one raid boss that was a hut. Of course, he was in this droid spider thing, and I think that's mostly what did the damage to us, but, you know.
Right. Was it like Dr. Wily from Sonic? I don't know.
I mean, as far as fighting more huts, I'd rather fight huts than Ragdoll. That's where I'm at this point, unfortunately.
Really?
Yeah, I'd rather fight more huts than Ragdoll.
You know, I'm gonna have to write them a letter and go transfer all of Fastcard's characters to Terrace and take his ship away for a week.
I'd rather fight huts than more droids. There are a ton of droid bosses. There really are. Although you know there will be more.
Yeah. I mean, on Curse, what's the world boss on Roman Cars? Does anyone know? Because I mean, the world boss on Curse kind of is a droid, and that's like the first world boss. There's technically one on Python, but he's not much of a challenge, I don't think.
Oh, that's that cyborg thing there towards the forge. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Right.
I don't know what the drone cost is. I
Oh.
went through it once, as fast as possible. Oh, Cost City, look! Monoliths everywhere. I'm gonna have to go get a Buzz Lightyear outfit. Put a Buzz Lightyear helmet on me, will you, when we get done? Monoliths everywhere. There you go. I want to fight more Empire.
I do too, actually.
I
wouldn't
want
mind
less
fighting more
droids. I
Empire.
want less huts. I want the feel of the two factions. Please give
Yeah,
me the
more
two
Empire,
factions.
more Sith,
More
and
ship,
Sith.
Sith,
Yes.
Imp. I'm just saying. Empire spelled with an E. Imperial spelled with an I. You can't explain that. Aliens. I don't have the hair for that. I apologize for interrupting you. I will sit back down.
I'd much rather fight more Inquisitor, more Warriors, Juggernauts, whatever, what have you.
Juggernaut. I'm the Juggernaut! Wow, I just showed my age.
And the winner for tonight's drinking game is...
Right.
Completely off topic. I was at a breakfast this morning and somebody said, they talked about when they had started their business and it was in 1973. And I was like, how many of you weren't born then? And like almost everybody raised their hand.
For another off topic, when you were mentioning pod racing, like when Phantom Menace first came out in '99, I had this image, like, you know how the Darwin Awards winners was coming out at almost the same time. If I had to pick my own way of being a Darwin Award winner, I would put like 2 jetpacks in front of my car and ride down the street like a pod racer.
We totally recommend that book too. Or however many there. I'm sure there's 3 or 4 by now. It's been years since I've read them, but I highly recommend the Darwin Awards if you want a good laugh. Macabre. Yeah.
Macabre.
Macabre. I don't care how it's pronounced. I'm going to throw everything I can at it. See what sticks to the wall.
Ridicule.
Ridicule. Macabre.
Macabre.
Macabre sounds too much like a kind of corn. Macabre.
That's my cob.
Wow. I just had flashbacks of the new guy. That's mine. What do you got? She right angled my dick. You ever been able to pee around a corner?
And on that note,
what's next? Come on, keep it moving.
what do you think about the class changes, the new balance stuffs?
What, the more threat thing? Love it.
I'm thrilled about the new threat thing. I mean, there's a lot of changes, but
I might just go back to playing my Guardian full time.
Yeah, the new threat thing is like a major game changer. I mean, the tank really needed it because, I mean, when I'm doing raiding operation, at this point the tank can't keep hate off of me and other DPSs. So yeah, it's much needed. It's like I wish they could put that in before 1.3. Like that's needed as soon as possible.
Right. Like I had quite a brush with the giant fly swatter of humility one day doing the heroic quest in the black hole with a couple of our more well-geared raiders. Oh, you want to take it? Sure, yeah, I'll take it. I got one. I'll go. I'm geared enough to do that, and you can't stop hitting it. I couldn't keep up with the DPS classes that we had. You know, they just boom, go, and the guys just run. I'm like taunt. Oh, screw it. I'll be back. Like, you guys don't really. I'm just gonna DPS. You guys don't. I'm not really tanking right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say you might as well just trick the DPS and just do as much damage as you can at that point.
That's basically what I did. Like, our healer was good enough to keep everybody up, and the DPS were just full. I mean, I can't even. There isn't a ridiculous enough word for the amount of aggro that these guys were just taking away from me. Like, you know. I'm still in shock.
Yeah, that was getting really frustrating because, you know, I would go in and blow all my cooldowns and use up all my ammo and just pour on everything I could and still couldn't hold aggro. I was like, I know what I'm doing. I really do. I know which ones put on threat, and, you know, and which talents and what rotation to use, and I've done this in other games. And what is happening? So,
it's frustrating.
It is. It really is.
It's getting to the point now when we're doing raids, I have to ease off my DPS in order for the tank to keep hate. And if I do it too much, we're hitting rage. If I don't do it enough, I'll take hate. And you have to find that nice little, you know, Goldilocks medium, the happy medium, in order to do it right. And it's hard to do under pressure.
Exactly. I would say, you know, it's a matter of having the DPS control their DPS, except for the fact that we've got these crazy enrage timers. You know, some of them are crazier than others. And the DPS need to be DPSing. So, you know, I'm glad that they've said before that threat was something that needed to be adjusted, that it doesn't scale at the same rate as DPS, and that became very, very clear. And so I'm glad they're getting around to adjusting it. As far as the class balance changes and the character changes and all that, that's
fine and okay.
Thrilled.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, for Guardian, that's my main class. I play DPS, and there's nothing under Vigilance. I did something on the Vigilance is only one thing. Everything else is for keeping threat and the defense tree rather than the Vigilance or the focus tree. And I think it's like that for the other 10 classes as well.
You don't have an aggro dump at all?
We do have an aggro dump. We just got one in 1.2.
Oh, congratulations. My threat's getting buffed in 1.3. I mean, it's only a couple of weeks apart, and we could have used it back in December.
But whenever I use my aggro dump, it's like a coin flip whether or not it'll actually do what I want it to do.
Anything else on class changes or class balance coming up in 1.3?
Why do they call it class changes? You're not changing a class.
Yeah,
I
they
don't want to be
are.
a sage anymore. I want to be a smuggler.
Oh,
Why can't they call it class modifications? Because that would confuse the augmenters?
it's too long a word. Modification, too many syllables.
Well, that may have just been like
Maybe.
a term that I don't know that that's necessarily the term they used.
Who?
It may be. I don't know.
What?
I don't know that it's an official term, class change. It may have just been something that I said.
How about we call it class mechanic realignment? How's that for syllables, bud?
No, you need to make it a an acronym, so it'll be like a word acronym.
A word acronym? The word acronym is a word.
No, like class changes, mechanics or CCM. You
You
need to
can't
make it
call it
like
CC. Now you're going to confuse people. Hey, we got new CCM coming in. I can't wait. It's a droid. I can't do anything with droids. What do you want me to do? I'm just saying. Let's just get as confusing as we can.
Isn't that the point? That's usually what seems to happen.
That's why it takes so long
basically.
to read the patch notes.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I was trying to read them earlier. It's like I'm not going to get through all of these.
And it's just gonna get longer as time goes on.
Exactly. What do you think about the group finder thing?
Okay.
Yeah, they mentioned that in the Q&A this past Friday. Uh, the one thing that seemed obvious, but they had to put out specific words or specific terminology. How if you're in a group with two or three people and you're just looking for one or two people, you can actually use the group finder to do that. That seems like something. At least they're putting that in, and it's a nice thing to have. But as far as everything else, eh.
I'll just be happy when it's in and it works. They're giving rewards too. Can't imagine where they got that from. Never seen that before in a video game ever. As long as it's server specific and whatnot. This is one of the things that I always thought was kind of funny with the surnames. Oh, asshat, I'm gonna write down your surname so I know. Hee hee hee. I'm just gonna turn it off. Sounds like a really good idea in principle to be able to go. I know that guy. Those are all his characters. That guy's kind of a ninja. Well, I'm just gonna turn it off, so it kind of defeats the purpose. I leave mine on because
How many legacy names do you actually keep track of? Like other people's legacy names? Do you really remember them?
some of them, yeah. The Nighthawks, the Windwalkers, the whatever Fast Card says, I don't remember.
All the Skywalker's variants,
Yeah, no, I don't even care. Come on, be original. Why even bother doing something like that? I'm his great 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 grandfather. Please.
Skywalker with two eyes or one eye.
Yeah, the Nightwalkers, the Planet Hoppers, and the River Jumpers, and the Bedwetters and
I have to
whatnot.
admit, I don't keep track of people's legacy names at all, unless there's one that really stands out. I do see and kind of keep an eye on. That sounds like I'm being a creepy stalker person or some sort of.
But you are.
Well, probably, yeah. Uh, I do pay attention to people's guild names, and I think that mostly comes from being a guild leader, so that if somebody messes with one of my people, I know who to go talk to.
Yeah, I pay attention to people's first names. I mean, the normal character name and their guild name, but mostly their first names. Yeah.
You do realize I'm talking about like people that you do something
Right.
downright mean or despicable. I'm not saying you should go around memorizing every friggin' surname you see on the server just to be that, creepy forever alone guy that's like, oh, I remember you. I'm just saying that's something that, I thought was gonna make my life a little bit easier. When in reality, there's just a workaround for that anyways.
Yeah, that would have been nice if you'd been able to see their legacy no matter what. No, oh, that's that guy's tune. Well, yeah.
That's exactly what I thought was going to happen when they first were talking about it. I was like, yes, finally some accountability with these high school and college age frittados. But workaround, okay, good enough. Moving on. Find something else to cry about.
Oh, you can cry about how long it's gonna take for 1.3 to come out, but like how many, like it's on the public test server now. How long do you think? How far out do you think it's gonna be? Because I mean, when
Before the end
1.2
of
came
June.
out,
Before the
when
end of
1.
June. Before the end of June.
Yeah.
When 1.2 came out
June.
in the test server, that was like a month and a half.
Yeah,
Didn't
they gotta step it up. You're
didn't
running
they
out of
announce
time.
a date?
No, they haven't.
No, the
Oh,
transfers are today.
that's right. That's right.
But 1.3 has not been officially. I mean, we could go with the trademark. I'm not even gonna go there.
Soon.
I hate that fucking word. So
When it's
vague.
ready.
Yeah, that's the important part. When it's done properly and we've worked out all the bugs, and there will be no one left to play it.
We're gonna have to deal with 4th of July too, because that's a BioWare is an American company, so they have to work around that. I think it'll be after the 4th of July, or mid July maybe.
I think it's going to be beforehand so they can grab people for the long holiday. Because come on, what's the overall percentage of gamers that are outside people?
Big ball of fire and sky bad.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm just happy that I'm recording this in sunlight right now, and I'm not bursting into flames
I
somehow.
know. Your tan's coming out really nicely, by the way.
Thank you very
My
much.
so bad.
Woo! I had to get that one in
Gotta get one in every time.
every time.
Actually, my white balance is adjusted because I got people gave me a hard time about being too white in the
Turn
first.
the yellow down.
Well, yeah, I mean the panels behind me are like supposed to be stark white, so but at least I like mostly possibly
It's
human.
like watching the
something.
first half of the Saw movie.
At least you're
What's
not a
the
vampire tonight.
Right.
Yeah, tonight anyway. But oh, and especially living in Texas, it's like summer not going outside. No, thank you. I don't like melting.
Just because there's other people.
Well, that too.
I can't stand. Dude, I tell you what, winter is the best time ever in the state of Maine because there's nobody here. Nobody but Mainers. There's no tourists. Summertime, wintertime, perfect. Everybody's going up New Hampshire, going snowboarding and skiing and whatnot on the mountain, and they don't even go near my house. But summertime, forget it. I'm carrying a baseball bat with me.
You're not gonna eat people's face off.
Canadians. No, I'm not going to eat people's faces off because I'm not a zombie. Gross misuse of whatever you want to call. I just had that discussion with somebody today. It's cannibalism. It's not. This is not a zombie attack. It's cannibalism. There's a difference. Look it up in the dictionary. You third grade educated. I want to be a journalist. It's all just hype. It's just hype. It's just to sell newspapers. Kind of like level 15 trials are just to sell subscriptions.
Cannibalism had too many syllables. That's what I've been saying. You have to dumb it down.
I would not be surprised if I were to go on a search engine right now and find a hate group against syllables and find you as the founding member.
I have nothing against
You,
syllables.
sir,
I
are an
just understand it.
anti-syllablist. Anti-syllablist. I apologize. That you can't pronounce your words. That was
I can pronounce McCabe.
Macab. I'm gonna throw my Vault Boy bobblehead at you.
Go ahead, go for
I
it.
will. It's only an hour drive. I can make it. It ain't even that if I do the Massachusetts speed limit of 85, the minimum Highway 95.
See, I was worried this show would give me a stalker. I didn't know it'd be you.
Yeah. I'm totally stalking you.
Anyway,
Anything else notable in the patch notes, y'all? Me bringing it back on topic. Anything else notable in the patch notes, y'all want
Fun
to
killer.
discuss? I know. I'm such a party pooper.
I'm gonna cry. Actually, I sat on my nuts, so. It's not you. Trust me. It's me. I'm done.
I'm good.
Freaking elitist syllablist.
Anybody have any closing comments, their own pressing question of the week, anything like that?
I'm mostly happy with just coming out with what they announced. It was like I said, it was lackluster, and I'm hoping it'll come out sooner than later. But like I said, my guess is after July 4th. I don't know.
I agree that I think it'll be June. That was the estimated anyway, unless they've got more bugs to work out and they have to push it back. But we'll see. Time will tell. On that note, I believe we will wrap it up. Thank you, everybody, for joining us for another episode of Inside SWTOR. We will see you next week.